And welcome in everyone to Monin Park on the campus of UMass Boston and Boston College High School. I'm JJ Sylvia, joined alongside myself by my partner and cousin, Mr. Carter Sylvia. It is the MIAA Division II Boys Baseball Final Four from here in South Boston. And Carter, a little bit of a pregame here going for us. The number 2 seed in the tournament, Reading, or Reading, I should say. Never going to make that mistake again. Shout out Autumn Hendrickson. But Reading, number 2 seed, hosting the number 6 seed Somerset-Berkley Raiders with a trip to the state championship on the line. Carter, let's start with Somerset-Berkley. You're coming in as an underdog. What is your mindset going into this game if you are the Raiders?
I think you got, John, great way you said this. I think you got to treat the game as you're not an underdog. Even though you're coming in as a 6 seed versus the 2, you know the Raiders know they're very capable of winning this game by as many runs as they did against Milford.
And speaking of runs, they were hard to come by, Carter, for this Reading squad in their last matchup in the Elite Eight against Dartmouth. They walk-off win in the bottom of the 7th for them. They're going to need a lot more running and scoring output today if they want to compete with a team like the Somerset-Berkley Raiders, who have been on a tear, winning 7 of their last 10.
And especially, one of the Raiders' best regular season performances was a win over Dartmouth by over 7 runs. So definitely a point to point out for the Raiders that they definitely have even though it looks like they're the underdogs, they actually have a slight advantage based off how these two teams played against Dartmouth.
Reading Memorial versus Somerset-Berkley with a trip to the state championship on the line. Both teams have been over 15 plus years without a state championship, and that could potentially change for either program in the coming weeks. But for now, we take a step aside as we get through player introductions and our national anthem. We will be right back here on Somerset Access TV and SB Blue Raider Studios on YouTube. Back here at Monin Park, JJ Sylvia, Carter Sylvia with you. Let's meet the fielders for the number 2 seeded Reading Memorial squad. At first base, it'll be Isaac Robinson. Jack Chapin will play second, and Nate Vitorisi will play shortstop. Cameron Gretrex will be at third base. Left to right in the outfield, Jack Conley, Alex Merkel, and Liam Hansen, with Riley Learned doing the catching for today's starting pitcher for Reading Memorial in Grady Ventura. And Ventura, Carter, this season a 1.06 earned run average with a 5-1 record over 7 appearances, and that 1.6 earned run average, Carter, is not even the best on this Reading squad.
Yeah, I mean, the pitching staff is definitely deep for this Reading squad. Also, talking about Williams, who coming in with a 1.14 ERA, and Leboyevich, who's also coming with a 1.01 ERA with a 6 wins, 1 loss record. So it's definitely an impressive pitching staff for the Rockets.
And speaking of impressive stats, Ventura this season, Carter, already 2 shutouts to his resume on the bump. So these Raider hitters will have quite the challenge ahead of them today in Grady Ventura. Let's meet the batting lineup for your Somerset-Berkley Raiders. Jaden Cruz will lead off and play shortstop, followed by Alex Crook at second base. Kyle Sherman Jr. will play third today and bat third. Luke Thornton will play right and bat fourth. Liam Meehan, the catcher, will bat fifth. Brady Carpenter, the DH, sixth. Hayden Teasdale, the first baseman, seventh. Jacoby Davidson, eighth, and playing left field. And in the 9-hole is the sophomore superstar Ryan Crook, who had a huge squeeze bunt to help aid a third, fourth, and fifth inning where the Raiders were able to separate themselves from their opponent in the Elite Eight, and now they will look to separate themselves early in this one here at Monin Park. One of the first things I noticed when we walked into Monin Park is the striking resemblance of the field dimensions to Fenway Park. You and I were thinking that it may have been intentional considering the 2 squads that play here.
Yeah, for sure, John.
Taking another large lead and checking on him again is Ventura, being very careful. Carter, we saw in the Elite Eight matchup for Somerset-Berkley just how speedy and efficient they are on the base paths. Not really much of a mystery why Ventura is checking on them so much thus far. Swing and a miss for the first strikeout of the game.
Yeah, the Raiders are probably one of the most dangerous when stealing bases in all of MIAA. So great job by Ventura just to make sure and be in discipline to make sure that Jaden Cruz doesn't steal a second.
1-0 count between Ventura and Thornton. The delivery Thornton skies that one out towards right field. Should be deep enough to get a run in with only one out. Catch made, tagging, and coming to the plate is Jaden Cruz. It is 1-0 Somerset-Berkley.
Yeah, great discipline there by Jaden Cruz. Kind of the easiest run to the home plate he'll ever get, as that's a great play by Luke Thornton just to get the ball out into right field to give Jaden Cruz enough time to get to home. And that's 1-0 Raiders.
Ventura catches the outside corner. Again, that's been his spot thus far. He's been painting better than Picasso in that area. Big lead off of second base for Sherman. The pitch, Meehan fouls it off. 0-2 count now for Ventura. He can get out of this inning with just one more strike, but Meehan happens to be just one of the toughest outs on this Raider squad. Redding looking to limit the damage and get their bats up. The 0-2 from Ventura. Meehan back up the middle, base hit. Let's see if they send Sherman. They're going to. Throw's coming home. It's going to be overhead. And in to score is Kyle Sherman. It is 2-0. Somerset-Berkley.
Yeah, I mean, great hit there by Liam Meehan, driving it towards the second base, and that gives Kyle Sherman wheeling towards home plate. That puts the Raiders up 2-0.
Hayden Teasdale will be at first base, Alex Crook at second, Jaden Cruz at short, and Kyle Sherman Jr. at third. Left to right in the outfield, Jacoby Davidson, Ryan Crook, and Luke Thornton, with Liam Meehan doing the catching for today's starting pitcher for SB, Evan Isidorio. And Isidorio on the season, a 2.01 earned run average with a 3-1 record in 9 appearances. No shutouts for Mr. Isidorio, but nonetheless one of the more effective starting pitchers on this Somerset-Berkley pitching staff, and a beautiful compliment to their ace in Kyle Sherman Jr. Now let's meet the batting lineup that Isidorio will face. Nate Vitorisi will bat in the leadoff spot and play shortstop. Jack Conley will be in left field and bat second. Sam Clark, the captain and DH, will bat third. Isaac Robinson at first will bat fourth. Alex Merkel in center field batting fifth. Riley Learned, the catcher, will bat sixth. Camden Greterex at third base will bat seventh. Jack Chapin, the second baseman, bats eighth. And Liam Hansen will finish out the starting 9 batters for Reading in right field. Somebody's got to keep a tally of how many times I mix up Reading, which is the correct way to pronounce it, and Reading. I got to make sure that somebody keeps track of that. Nonetheless, Reading, Reading, the sun is setting. It's the Final Four. Who cares? Here comes Nate Vitorisi, first batter for Reading, and he will take ball 1 from Isidorio. If Isidorio isn't careful here, the bases will be loaded. Need a good put-out pitch here. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. A beautiful off-speed, looked like a changeup there, and that is the first strikeout for Evan Isidorio.
Yeah, that was very needed for Isidorio. I mean, he started a little shaky off in this inning, but he's really redeemed himself there with a nice strikeout.
A stand tall and proud moment here to prevent Reading from getting on the board, and he leaves that one up high, and the first run of the game is in for Reading Memorial, as scoring is Vitorisi, and the third walk of the inning for Evan Isidorio. One more strike. Evan Isidorio can take what looked like a abysmal situation for him when there were no outs in the inning and turn it into a fairly effective inning on the bump if he can get just one more blow-by here.
1 ball, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 down, 1 run game.
Isidorio, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the game for Evan Isidorio as he gets a standing ovation and a deep sigh of relief from the Raider faithful. We head to the second inning here in South Boston. Two-two pitch is in there for a called strike 3. Second strikeout of the game for Grady Ventura, his first via the backwards K. Away from him a bit there. Classic case of the yips, which happens more than you would think. The pros really do make it look easy. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout of the game for Evan Isidorio. Jack Chapin is the victim, and now we go to the 9-hole hitter for Reading in Liam Hansen.
Yeah, great paint there by Evan Isidorio, really settling into the plate after the clutch strikeout he had last inning to end it.
Meehan gives Isidorio his sign, and he fires. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts, and give Isidorio 4 on the day now.
Isidorio putting on a clinic so far this inning. Let's see how he can finish it as back to the top of the order for the...
I'll be interested to see if Jason Martin gives Thornton the green light here on 3-2. No green light there, but it catches the strike zone. Called strike 3. Second backwards K of the game for Grady Ventura. Third strikeout total for number 18 in white. 1 out in the inning. Raiders defense might be thinking a potential double play in this situation. Sizable lead off of first for Clark. Isidorio checks on him and fires. That one drilled out towards left field. Going to be a long run for Davidson. It's off the wall. Davidson plays it off that wall and gets it in quickly. They're going to send the runner home. Cruz to the plate. Meehan can't scoop it up. And we have a tie game here at Monin Park. It is 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, great. As I said, Isaac Robinson really dangerous at the plate. Hits it 310 to the wall, and definitely a bomb of a hit, and just allows for the easy run in, as that makes it 2-2.
An RBI double for Isaac Robinson. Learned 0 for 1 with a line out to short. The 1-0 from Isidorio is slapped out into right field. It's going to be a long run, and it drops in front of Luke Thornton. Let's see if they send the runner. They will. He is in, and Reading Memorial is on top 3-2 here in the final 4. It's an RBI single for Riley Learn.
Yeah, Riley Learn, what a play there. I mean, just a great hit out to that right field again. Very similar to what Sam Clark did. And now with Reading Memorial having two players on again at first and third this time.
And now Jason Martin is back out to the bump, and it looks like he's pulling Evan Isidorio. So Isidorio will take a seat. To a round of applause for a gritty effort against a very tough Reading Memorial Rockets offense. Carter Sylvia and I will be right back when we will meet the next pitcher for the Raiders here on Somerset Access TV. And here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the new pitcher for Somerset-Berkley is none other than Brady Carpenter. Carpenter has had some big relief spots on the bump throughout this season, and he'll check back to first to start on Riley Learned. Both runners with a decent lead. Carpenter checks on them both and comes home. That one tapped out to second, could be 2 to second for 1 on to first. Double play! And a beautiful split stretch by Hayden Teasdale, and the side is... The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 4th strikeout of the game for Grady. This one. They've been able to take advantage of 2 errors having been made by the Rockets thus far. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got Meehan to chase up high. Nice strategy there from Grady Ventura. And with time not on the Raiders' side, we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, 3-2 in favor of Reading Memorial when we return here on Somerset Access TV and SB Blue Raider Studios on YouTube.
Unscathed.
If Reading can get a few on the board here, it just might spell the potential end to the Raiders season. So Carpenter's pitching here is oh so pivotal. He gets that first pitch in for a strike. It's a force out at any base, so Raiders playing at normal depth across the diamond. That one skied out to right field, should be out number 3. Coming in and making the catch is Luke Thornton to retire the side. No runs across in this inning as the Raiders are able to hold off Reading once more. We head to the 6th inning here at Moon Park. On that one from head coach Jason Martin. Grady Ventura, the 3-1, is low, ball 4. And the leadoff hitter reaches base for Somerset-Berkley for the first time since the 1st inning.
As Hayden Teasdale's up the bat. Great plate discipline there by Brady Carpenter, as we'll have a pinch runner in Anthony Alderman.
And that looks like it'll be the day for Grady Ventura as he leaves to a standing ovation from the Reading Memorial faithful. And a new pitcher set to come in. And Carter, if you're the Raiders, this is the chance where you're going to want to pounce. New pitcher coming into the game. Can't ask for a better scenario, especially considering how well Ventura has been dealing tonight.
Yeah, but if you look at this Reading Memorial pitching staff, you can see that it's one of the best in the game. We talked about one of the best in the state. We talked about this.
Alderman with a solid lead off of first. Williams the 1-0 with Teasdale showing bunt. A quick throw down to second. He is safe. Looks like Chapin, or should I say Vitorisi, did not get the tag down in time. So stealing second on a very close call is Alderman. And Anthony Alderman puts himself in scoring position, and now a 1-1 count between Chase Williams and Hayden Teasdale. 3-2. I was completely blocked by Teasdale's body, didn't get a good view on that. 3-2 on the way from Williams. Swing and a miss. And a big first out for the sophomore as he retires Hayden Teasdale. And Jacoby Davidson to step in next. Raiders seeking to tie this game up. Williams checks on Alderman at second. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Chase Williams. And we go from no outs and a runner on to 2 down and a runner on in a flash. Alderman another wide lead off of second. Vitorisi playing mind games behind him as Crook pops it up on the infield. Calling everyone off is Vitorisi, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. A clutch bit of pitching by the sophomore Chase Williams keeps the Raider bats at bay. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning with Reading Memorial still up 3-2. Everyone here inside Moon Park holds their breath. Brady Carpenter, the 3-1 pitch. That one drilled out towards right center field. Could be trouble moving over, and unable to make the catch is Luke Thornton. It skips off his glove. 1 run is in. Another one coming across. It is 5-2. Reading Memorial.
Yeah, just a miscue there by Luke Thornton. It drives in 2 runs for Reading Memorial, and as we said, you need to get the job done, and it looks like they have.
At some point this weekend, winner of this game will play Walpole for the title. That one grounded right back to Carpenter. He checks the runners and gets out number 2 at first. So Riley Learned retired via the 1-3 putout for the last 6 innings. A 5-2 Rocket advantage with only 2 outs to go before they advance. 2-1 pitch. Crook lifts that one out to left field. Not going to have the distance to get out of the park. Settling under it is Jack Conley. And only 1 more out remains for the Rockets. Somerset-Berkley fans starting to make their way towards the exits This one is not over yet, however. Kyle Sherman Jr. representing the last chance in this 2025 season for Somerset-Berkley baseball.
Sherman, the last hope for the Raiders in the 7th. 2 down, the pitch.
Sherman, first pitch, back up the middle. That's a 2-out knock. Kyle Sherman letting Chase Williams know that the Raiders won't go away that easily. And now Luke Thornton stepping in straight away, with the exception of Robinson, who holds Sherman at first. A 1 pitch from Williams. That one lifted out towards right center field, looking like it gets down. It will. Moving to third base is Sherman, staying at first at Thornton. And it is 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. Raiders with an opportunity yet again with Liam Meehan at the plate to try and get back in this one.
As they have players on 1 and 3 looking to tie this game up.
Liam Meehan has one of the 2 home runs that the Raiders have hit all season long. A home run here would be a Cinderella moment. Meehan swinging at a high fastball will bring an end to the Raiders season, and the Reading Memorial Rockets are going to the state championship game, where they will try to win their first state title since 1996. Final score today here at Monin Park, 5-2 in favor of the Reading Memorial Rockets. Winning pitcher will be Grady Ventura. Losing pitcher will be Evan Isidorio. And a big congratulations to the Somerset-Berkley Raiders on a hard-fought game and an amazing season that sadly comes to a close here in South Boston. But it has been an excellent athletic season here in Somerset-Berkley Athletics. 3 different programs qualifying for the Final Four, with 2 of them winning the state title. But for now, Carter Sylvia and I will step aside, and we will hopefully see you next fall for Somerset-Berkley football. For our entire Somerset Access TV crew, the Somerset-Berkley Blue Raider Studios crew, my partner Carter Sylvia, our camera person Julia, I'm wishing you a great rest of your night from here at Monin Park. I'm JJ Sylvia. Thank you so much for watching, and go Raiders.